Motorboat? You play the motorboat? You motorboating son of a bitch, you old sailor, you.
Following program contains language and subject matter that you may consider unsuitable for children. Parental discretion is advised.
I'm going to pass the reins to Mr. Jackal, the new king of radio.
I think Jackal's Latino, I'm not sure, but he'll give it to you good.
The Jackal.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Inside the Jackal Said. I am Angel Espino, the host. The guest of the evening, the one and only Mr. Dennis Williams, is on with me live. And right before we get to him, I want to make sure everybody pays attention. We're going to talk about a lot of really cool stuff. Like I said earlier, we're involved in a very cool film project, and we're going to get to that. So please, if you have any questions, make sure you address it over on the PSN chat room on Facebook and on Skype, and I'll try to ask Dennis anything you might want to ask. You know how to address if you want to get in on the conversation on Skype. Feel free to type to me, and I'll bring you into the conversation so you can ask any questions. And for our YouTubers, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like, notifications, thumbs up. Give me the finger, and I'm talking about the thumb. Give me all that good stuff. And now, with that said, the person who's not going to give me the finger except for the thumb, the one and only, my guest of the evening, the one and only, Mr. Dennis Williams. I wish I could kind of like reach through the to the uh, computer here and and shake your hand on the other side. You know what I'm saying?
Virtual handshake. Yeah. Thanks, man. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I got to know you a little bit thanks to our good buddy Zodwriter and the stuff that he's working on, which is awesome. And then I was like, I want to know some of the people because I'm in this project, and as an actor, which I consider myself, even though I'm going to say I'm knocking it out of the park, and I'm not even on the set. I don't know how I'm doing it. Right? It's crazy.
Me too.
Hey, we're doing some work, and it's the best work I've ever done, right out of my apartment.
I agree. I agree.
But I'm like, you know what? I got to get to know some of the cast members, and I saw, that you're an influencer on YouTube, and your story really was intriguing. And I said, you know what? I want to start getting some of these folks on, and immediately I hit you up because you had a very cool song on your podcast on YouTube, and I was like, I love this song. And if this guy, and I don't know what the hell the song was, but I'm like, the song mesmerized me. So I will be honest. I started watching your videos because of the song. And then I was like, this guy's cool. And then I started just watching. I'm like, oh man, look, we had a conversation, my religious, beliefs, and you have yours, and I respect everybody's beliefs. But when you can focus on somebody who is doing, their thing, which is not in line with yours, but you can find common ground, and you know that you're both about God, that's a beautiful day. And tell the audience a little bit about you, man, because I want my audience to know more about you.
About me, huh? Well, I'm 54 years old. I know I don't look it or sound it. Hopefully, I've always been into music, and I've always been into God ever since I was little. Coming from having a family, that was in church and things, and they, taught me how to love God and who He is. And I'm just a guy who loves to sing, loves to preach, love to teach, love to dance, love to draw, love hair. I'm complex.
And I'm gonna start like one day just say, you know what? Give me a do, like something nice over here, because
I'll cook you up now.
You're rocking that, and I tried once, and it just looked goofy on me, and I was like, you know what? I'm just shaving my head.
You just didn't have the right style. That's all it was.
No, not at all. But I do appreciate. Is car coming? All right, car's gone. I do appreciate, the fact you're rocking that because you rock it well, my friend.
I appreciate it, man. I've been into hair ever since I was 16. Remember I told you when we talked before, I was a Michael Jackson impersonator when I was in high school.
Yep.
So that style, Michael, people like Michael and Prince and the ones I call the pretty boys, they're
Yeah.
they're the ones that inspired me to for my look and stuff because in the words of Little Richard, being pretty never bothered me. So
Which is it's funny because people look at me and they're like automatically, oh, you must listen to number country music and play video games all day long, right there, Toby? And I'm like, nah, man, I grew up listening to like the Stylistics, the Jacksons, like that was my thing, the Bee Gees, like I'm old school, man. Like Little Richard is the king of rock to me. And when you and I
absolutely,
started talking, we were like, it was like a bonding on a whole different level. Like we were like musically like right there, and I'm like, see, I knew great minds think alike. Musically,
absolutely,
Little Richard is so underrated by the mass
he
public.
really is.
They don't understand how important to rock and roll.
Yeah,
Forget heavy metal, forget the Beatles, forget Elvis. They all took from him and incorporated into them. So every
absolutely.
living rock and roll icon that we've had since Little Richard owes that man a great, a deal of gratitude, and it's an incredible thing.
That's true. You're true in what you're saying, and it's not just and the thing I was just finding out about. It's not just this rock and roll either. I was listening the other day because it's like I told you when we talked before. It's really strange we brought up Little Richard because just like 2 days ago I was listening to a lot of his old music, and I
Yeah.
came across one of his gospel albums. Come and Pray with Little Richard. I think that's the name of it.
Hmm.
That man, I have never heard Little Richard sing that well at all.
Yeah.
That whole album was, oh, his vocals was just incredible.
Yeah.
He was truly a genius at what he did.
You know what's the crazy thing about it is because everybody remembers, the hits, Tutti Frutti,
All that,
like,
yeah.
yeah, you remember the fun songs. Yeah, but I mean, when you think about it, like a lot of people don't remember, like you're saying, some of like the songs that you can really see the range in his vocals, and
Oh,
ridiculous. I mean, Luther
crazy.
Vandross. There's been a lot of
Uh,
great, Phil Collins, a lot of great vocalists over the years. But man, I'll tell you what, Little Richard's vocally incredible range, incredible. And
yes.
I took music for many years. I used to sing falsetto before my voice
Hmm.
changed. I became an older man, and things happen. But I used to be able to sing when I was younger, and one of my influences was Little Richard. Learning about his music as a kid,
Hmm.
people just don't know. They
They
don't
don't.
understand. No. It's incredible, but that's amazing influences, and a lot of folks don't know also like him, Michael, and a lot of these other artists also were touched by God and were very
Yes.
religious. Michael was Jehovah's Witness growing up, and
Hmm.
people don't know this, and they're gonna find out about this in the movie coming out about his life with his nephew playing him. Um,
Hmm.
they're gonna find out something that's gonna blow a lot of people's minds away. In the height of the Jackson Five's popularity and in the like the very peak of them blowing up, he was still with his mom, Catherine, going door to door as Jehovah's Witness,
Yeah.
and they
Yes.
were reading with people about God.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people don't know that. Yeah.
Yeah,
As famous as he would still get with his mother, and they would go door to door and give the word of God to people. Yeah. So a lot of people don't understand that. It's a lot of things about Michael that people don't realize and stuff. Like we were talking before, that he was a martial artist and people didn't know that.
yeah.
They didn't know that he knew martial arts. You know, they didn't know that he was truly a ladies' man.
Yeah. That's something that's been confirmed to me, and we had a conversation on that in prior.
Yeah.
I could attest that yeah, there's stories about Michael and the ladies that
Oh
if you
yeah.
hear some of the stuff with the bodyguards and what they said over the last
Oh yeah.
decade, let's just say that Michael, may have been the way he was when he looked the way he did, but he
Don't let
knew
the
how to take
prettiness
care of the
fool
women. Yeah, exactly.
you.
Exactly. Don't let the
Don't let
looks
don't let
fool
the
you.
hair and makeup fool you.
No. You know, Michael, for all the surgeries he had and stuff, and I don't want to get too deep on Michael Jackson because we do a 4-hour show if that was the case. Because I'm a
I know, yeah. We could talk
Michael
about
fan.
Michael. I could talk about Michael forever.
Yeah, but one of the things that people forget is the reason he had a lot of the surgeries and stuff was because he really was a victim of something.
Yeah.
The nose job, for example, people were like, "Oh, he just wants to change his nose." No,
Mm.
he fell off of stage on a Jackson performance and broke his nose, and he
And broke,
needed
that was
surgery.
the first. That was the
Right.
first surgery. Yeah.
And then it was botched. He couldn't breathe properly. And when you're a singer, you
Yeah.
need to be able to breathe to be able to, sing properly. If now
Hmm.
you sound like this, and you don't want to sound like that.
Exactly.
And Michael had to have reconstructive surgery again. And by the time it was like 3 or 4 times, now he ended up with a little pointy nose because he's trying to be able to like breathe, sing, and
Yeah.
like have kind of a
And you only
normal.
have so much cartilage and stuff in your nose, to work with. So
Right. And
yeah,
if you break it and they have to fix it, sometimes, especially in the 70s and 80s, ain't going to come out too good. And, also remember he was a victim in the Pepsi commercial and the hair caught on fire and his scalp got
absolutely.
burned. I mean, the dude was just a victim of circumstances, which is very sad when you look
But
back. Somebody so famous went through all that.
but he's also a testament to show you that he can make it work.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
with all that adversity that he went through, he still became the greatest entertainer of all time.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know you and I are both Prince fans, and it was neck and neck
Oh,
there for a while. But
yeah. But see, to me, they're equal but they're just in two different categories.
mm,
Michael's he's the king of pop. Actually, he's the king of pop. Period.
yeah.
Prince, Prince was his royal badness. He was Prince. Prince was in his own lane. He had his own style, his own flavor, and it couldn't be compared to nobody else. Okay, maybe you could say with the guitar playing, maybe a little Jimi Hendrix. Okay, you might get that, and we know the hairdo and stuff like that. Maybe a little richer and stuff. But as far as like his essence and the work he did, you can't compare it to nobody because it was all by himself.
Yeah.
All by himself.
Actually, the name was perfect because Little Richard was the king of rock. Prince is I think the Prince of rock, really, if you think about it, because you
Mm-hmm.
listen to his music, it's more rock influence, especially the guitar solos and stuff. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of people that I know in the rock industry even today who are heavily influenced by Purple Rain and like When Doves
Yes.
Cry and you're like, really?
Nobody.
And you're like into like death metal, and they're like, oh man, but Purple Rain is the shit. Like that's the
Because Prince made
crossover
that
they get.
nobody could make a guitar talk like
Right,
Prince. Prince
right.
made that guitar sing
Hmm.
like vocals. It was he was so unique in it. It's so unique.
Yeah,
I love his style. He was a big influence over me too. You know, I love his music.
yeah. Same here. Like I was saying earlier, man, some of the greatest music came from the '60s, '70s, '80s, and '90s. We had Luther Vandross, another amazing vocalist.
Yes,
But
I was
the
watching him
last
last night.
Oh, there you go. I'll tell you what. There's only two songs, and I'm 47. Okay, I'm not,
Mm.
slightly
You don't
younger.
look it. You don't look
Appreciate that. I feel like I don't feel a day older, 80. So,
it. Tell me about it.
but I appreciate that. No, but there's only two songs in my life that's ever made me actually cry.
Mhm,
Two songs. Okay.
mhm,
One it was "Dear Mama" with Tupac when I first heard that.
mhm.
Because me and my moms, were very close and going through like the stuff that we had gone through in the '80s, coming to this country and seeing her struggle, and I related to Tupac on that
See,
very closely. The other song was "Dance with My Father" by Luther Vandross.
stop, stop. Now, see, we didn't talk about this when we talked previously.
Hmm.
That That's crazy. Because I have those two songs, but my mama song is Mama by Boys the Men.
I love that song also. Mama.
Don't do it because I'll cry.
No, no, no.
Those two those
I
two songs,
yeah.
Mama by Boys the Men. Because see, my mother passed in '07. I lived with her all my
Yes.
life. I was 37 when she passed, and I lived with her. All I knew was my mom. I look like her. I sound like her. I cook like her. Um, you know, and it hurt me when I mean, yeah, you know. So,
Yeah, yeah.
but that song,
Uh,
"Mama" by Boys to Men, and "Dance with My Father," because my father passed before my mother. My father passed when he was 46. I was 19.
oh
I,
wow.
yeah, I got throat cancer. He had throat cancer, and the words in "Dance with My Father" are my life. Everything he said his mother went through in that song, my mother went through that. Every single word of that song is my life, and I can't listen to it to this day. Those two songs,
Mm.
I can't listen to because
Yeah.
I'll be a wreck by the time I'm done with it.
No, I
So I
believe you. I
feel
mean,
I feel you on that. I really feel you on
yeah. When I first heard that song, my father was in the hospital. I don't know if I was going to lose him. He had colon cancer, and knock on wood, he was able to survive. My mother, unfortunately, lost her life to cancer in 2016. So those two songs, man, again, those are the only two songs that I ever cried in. And
that.
it's hard for me to listen to them also because I get, like the waterworks start going. People don't understand, it's like they think you're ready for it, and you think you're ready for,
Mm-mm.
the death of a loved one, but when it happens, like the moment it happens, your whole life changes, and you're never ready for it.
Immediately, immediately, and that's one of the reasons why I'm so in love with the Father now, with God Himself, because great Elohim, is
Hmm.
because right after in the last house, the house that my mom passed in, um, I didn't know what I was gonna do. I had a panic attack. I was standing in the doorway between our living room and our kitchen, and I just started having a panic attack. I'm thinking to myself, what am I gonna do? Where am I gonna go? What am I gonna do from here? And just like I'm talking to you right now, and you hearing my voice, I heard the Father say, "Haven't I always been here with you?" And it scared me. And I immediately stopped crying. I was like, "Yes." He was like, "Well, then what are you worried about?" Immediately, all the fear went away. All the fear went away. The tears dried up, and I'm like, "Yeah. Why am I tripping?" And I've been fine ever since. I've been in my house right now. Well, after that, I moved in with my friend Daniel. God rest his soul. He was my best friend at the time. I moved in with him, stayed with him for a while. Then I moved in with my other one of my other good friends, and I stayed with him for 3 years. And then after that, that was a story in itself.
Hmm. Hmm.
Woo!
That's what the next
And
time you're on
after,
the show, we'll save that for later. Later.
yeah, yeah. And so after that, I stayed with one of my homegirls. She's like a sister to me, Shalane. And then
Hmm.
after that, I moved here in 2011, and I've been here for 14 years.
Wow. By the
Never
way,
missed.
I'm looking at the piece on your neck there. That's the Last Supper. That's beautiful.
Oh yeah, oh you can see it. Oh good, yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's the Last
Teamwork.
Supper.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
had to get it because I saw it and I was like, yeah,
it's nice.
yes,
That's
yeah.
beautiful.
Thank you.
For my listeners and the watchers, they're gonna watch this later. It doesn't matter what religion or dogma you believe in. Uh, Religion aside, God is God and God is great, and every moment that you have with somebody you love, tell them. Because once they're gone, they're gone, and you're not gonna be able to reach out to them again. But one thing that's always kept me going, and I was very depressed when I lost my mom, was
Mhm.
knowing that if we're all really one, we're all going to see each other again when the lights are
Yeah.
out. And I do
Um,
believe that this is just one moment in time, and we go to the next level, and we continue on, and there's more evolution past this flesh and bones, like Yoda would say. This is
it
only
is.
one part of existence. So,
Yeah. That's what I try to, on my show, come on in and get some with the bishop on YouTube, Bishop DM Williams. Um,
the
that's what I try to
little
tell people.
plug. Good job.
Just a little plug, just a little. I try, that's what I try to, make known to people is that you're more than what you think you are.
Hmm.
We're more than what we are from a royal lineage. We're in this world, but we're not of this world. The Bible tells us that.
Hmm.
And I spent, I've given, like I said before, I told you before, I've given the world enough of my life. And for those of us who follow the Bible, I can only come from what I know.
Right.
For those of us who follow the Bible, we know what time we're in. I call it the last days of the last days. I told you that before.
Hmm.
And so I feel that it's knowing what the word speaks of. It's my time to actually get on my job and to try to guide us and lead us. See, I'm not like I tell everybody, I'm not one of those preachers or one of those bishops, and I am an ordained bishop. I'm not one of those bishops who sit up there and try to act like I'm holier than everybody on earth. Like I've
Hmm.
never messed up, like I'm not still messing up. I'm not that type of person. I'm a real, like I tell on my videos, the only thing that's fake about me is my hair, my mustache, my teeth, my beard, and my eyebrows.
I was
And
gonna
everything
ask you
else,
about the teeth guy. I was gonna be like, man, you got like a nice setup there, and me, I'm like falling apart. I got like scotch tape and glue holding one up. Like,
listen, listen, it's all an illusion. It's all an illusion. These
hey,
these are not
life,
even
life
dimples.
is life is an illusion, man. Like,
You know,
this is something I like asking, especially religious folks all the time, because it does seem like we're living in a matrix built within the system here on this planet, and it's I don't think something that God would have wanted. When God gave us free will, it wasn't so
Mhm.
we could be enslaved in a global matrix, and I think that's what's happening, and it's
But
very
see,
sad.
but
It's
see,
very, very sad.
what you call a global matrix, it ain't nothing but Satan. See,
Hmm.
people so busy. People, I'm not saying you. I'm just saying people in
Hmm.
general are so busy criticizing God, whether to believe God or the whether believe not to believe in God. Everybody forgets about Satan,
Yeah.
and that's what he wants. He wants to
Hmm.
fly under the radar so he can do his job and get you while you too busy worrying if there is a God or not, because he
Right.
knows there is one. He came from it,
Hmm.
so he knows it, and it's his job to deceive. Okay, that's his job to come and see who that he can kill, steal, and destroy from. He's trying to. He's a deceiver. The Bible says that the Satan is the author of confusion. The devil is the author of confusion. That's his profession. If he can keep you confused, that's why I know. I don't want to get too political and stuff, but this
Hmm.
whole trans thing and all that stuff, all that's confusion.
I
And I
agree.
can say
Yeah.
that because like I told you before, I came from that community, okay, which I have denounced. Let everybody know I have denounced that, and it's because I don't want to be associated with that kind of mess anymore because there's no critical thinking. There's no critical thinking.
Hmm.
You are a boy, Damon.
Hmm. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Look, I have friends in the gay community. I have a couple of friends that are trans.
Me too. Me too.
And I have no issues. I'm a straight man. I've never been with another man. I have no inclination in any activity or anything
Right.
like that. I'm
Right.
a straight dude. But
Mhm.
it doesn't mean I have to hate somebody because they want to live the way they want to live. But if we're all following science, like they like to throw in our face, Male
Truth.
and female. That's the truth. Two genders. Now, if you want to live your life and well, just like a woman, by all means, you have the right
Do your thing.
and
That's
freedom
what
of
I
will.
don't mind. I don't care about all that. Do your thing. Cause see, I'm old school. I've
Mhm.
been around all the trannies, the dykes, the sissies, the punks, and all of them, as we used to call them. Cause we were all people. You know what I'm saying? And the girls, the trannies, they would sit up as we call them. Y'all don't get y'all panties all in a bunch because I said trannies. Most of the trannies call themselves trannies. So stop
This
it.
is true. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. So I would hang out with the trannies and they, it wasn't like it is now where they just feel like everybody in the world got to accept that they want to be a transsexual. They just wanted to be a trans girl, look the
Hmm.
best that they can, and live their life. It wasn't all about everybody got to accept me because the trans girls I knew back in the day didn't give a damn who accepted them or not.
Right.
But everybody nowadays, that's one thing about it nowadays. Everybody's such a punk nowadays.
Yeah.
I
That's
used
very
I
true.
go around.
Yeah.
Now, is this uncensored?
Yeah, 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 yeah. By all means, see what you
I
add
used
up.
to. My favorite saying is go grab your nuts.
Yeah.
Grab your nuts. The
Right.
girls too. Grab your nuts. Everybody is so sensitive. You can't
Yep.
say comedians can't be comedians. You can't crack
No.
jokes anymore. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's so sensitive. Oh my God, I can't believe that you said that about me. It's like an existential threat upon my existence. Girl, get a grip.
You know, I grew up in the era in the '80s. So like my favorite comedians were like considered dirty comedians, like I don't know if you heard of, but
Oh,
damn, now his name escaped me. Schimmel, Robert Schimmel.
I think I know
Rest
something
in
about that.
peace. Rob Schimmel, yeah, he passed away a few years ago. He had a car accident.
Yeah.
And him, Dennis Wolfberg,
Yeah.
these are comedians that are considered dirty comedians. Bob Saget, well, people are like, wait a
Bob
second, Bob
Saget.
Saget. But Bob Saget's stand up was hysterical. Sam Kinniston, like rest in peace.
I love Sam Kinison. Ow!
You know,
Ow!
Richard Pryor, like the God,
Richard, Eddie
you know,
Murphy,
Eddie Murphy, Paul Mooney. Oh my God,
Paul
who's
Mooney.
a god in comedy. And
What
now
was his name?
they,
What was his name? I can't remember his name. The one that was like, Little Miss Muffet sat on the top of eating her
oh
curds
my
away.
goodness.
Andy Dice.
Your
Andy
dice
Dice played.
lady. The dice man cometh.
The
Yes.
Dice man coming. And he
See,
killed me with that one. He said, Little Miss Muffet sat on the top of eating her curds and whey. Along came a spider and sat down beside her and said, hey, what's in the
what's in the
bowl, bitch?
bit?
Yes, I
No,
cussed.
my favorite one is Jack
Sometimes.
and Jill went up the hill, both with a buck and a quarter. Jill came down with
Down with
250. Yeah,
250.
bitch.
Oh! See, nowadays you can't say stuff like that. Everybody like,
Oh.
well, how could you say that about Jill? She was a single woman and she was, oh, get over it.
It's so true, man. It's funny because you watch like how people just lose their shit. Like you watch comedians like Dave Chappelle, and he gets away with it because he's so famous. But then you
And he's
comedians,
funny.
yeah, and he's funny. Like Dave can just, and this is what's great about Dave. And I met Dave briefly a long time ago. And it was at amateur club. I seen him twice live, and one of the
Uh,
times with a friend of mine who was a comedian, and we got to go backstage and kind of have a little like meeting. It was really cool. And the great thing about Dave over the years, following like the evolution of Dave Chappelle after the show and everything that happened to him, is that he can literally go on stage without any prepared material, just talk to the audience, and it's brilliant and hilarious.
yeah. You know
Well,
who can do that too? He's a young comedian that's out now, Matt Rice.
he's good. Yeah,
He's
the only
hilarious.
yeah, he's very funny, and he talks directly to the audience. Like a lot of his stuff
Yeah.
is. scripted. He just there shooting
And
shit.
and he's not bothered by all this wokeness. What he says, what he wants to say.
Yeah.
He talks about gay people. He talks about lesbians. He talks about old people, young people. He don't care who it is. He just talk about everybody.
Yeah.
And that's what makes him so funny.
Correct. Yeah. There's
You know?
some comedians who are really funny, but see, they've tried to cancel him now for the last couple of years. Also, they've been attacking him because again, he's very funny, but he's in your face with like the way he feels. He doesn't like hold back, and like you
Mhm.
said, we've built too many people that are working on feelings, and you've heard my feelings, and
Oh, why, how can you offend me like that?
I'm like,
For God's
really,
sake.
like, one thing is, you get offended because, like, what Michael Richards did on that nightclub, that was completely out of control. Kramer,
Oh yeah.
remember?
Yeah, I
That
remember that. Yeah.
stupid. But
That was dumb.
that's not he wasn't joking. It was just he had a meltdown and went full retard.
Yeah. There's
But a
there's a
comedian
difference.
who is telling jokes and he's like in the middle of a setup and like the jokes are funny, not offensive, but they're funny. And I'm from an era where we would all laugh at each other. Like
Yeah.
eh, I laughed at comedians making black jokes. One of my favorite jokes came from Chris Tucker when he was on stage when the '90s on and he goes, "Man, I'm so poor. If a dude robbed me, he'll just be practicing." No, he didn't say a dude.
Yeah.
You remember that joke?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. I think that was on Def Jam Comedy. I think he was on there when he
Right,
said
Def
that.
Comedy Jam. Yeah.
Def
He goes,
Comedy
"I'm
Jam, yeah.
stroke actually robbed my mama." Remember that?
Yeah.
Like, "Hit the
Yeah.
mama face." So, you're like, "Oh, mama, I'm sorry." She started beating the shit out of me.
Listen, I come from an era where we used to call it drilling. We would
Yeah.
sit there and we would there and we would just start. Me and my friends would get together like on a nice summer day, and we'd just sit there and everybody, one of us would just look over and be like, "Why are you so black?" You know, like, "Well, why are you so fat?"
Yeah.
Because your mama made me this way. And it just would roll from there, and we just be giggling and having fun. Sometimes we would make each other mad because you get them too good. They can't take it.
Yeah.
But that's what we grew up on, man. Everybody wasn't so overly sensitive. My God, it's just
Yeah.
crazy to me. The way I see people act nowadays, it's crazy. It's crazy. Everybody needs to just. That's why I say in the beginning of my videos, everybody just calm down. Just calm down.
Now,
It's not that.
politically, things have been kind of unhinged in the last 4 years, especially with the previous administration. Now that we got Trump back in the White House, and the one thing I love about Trump is he's practically a comedian. Like I was watching
He's,
the stuff, and he is funny as hell. When he
he
wants to
is.
let loose, because you can tell he's still like kind of cookie cutter, doesn't want to say too much, he doesn't want to get in trouble, so
He
he's kind of
holds back.
careful. But when he wants to unload and he wants to just be funny, dude is funny.
He is. He he knows how to do the business of our own people. He and he just cracked jokes, and he's just people don't. And see, that's what a lot of the reasons why people don't get him is
Yeah.
because they don't get his humor. They think that he's serious
Hmm.
when he say things like that. They think he's serious. Oh my God, Donald said this and Donald said that. Oh my God, he's an existential threat to the society. He needs to be stopped. And will you calm down? Did y'all really think that he meant for people to drink bleach?
I was
Did
just
you
thinking
really
about
think
that.
that? I knew he was joking when he said it back on his first term. I laughed.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, "Oh my God, he's trying to suggest that everybody drink bleach." Are you serious?
And what I love is his face. He's like, maybe they can inject it. He like did this motion on one of and I'm like, look at
Right.
his face. He's fucking with you. Like, are you
He
serious?
was
Like,
joking with everybody, but they took it so serious.
man.
I'm like, y'all are really uptight. Y'all need to loosen up a little bit, for real.
It's like that Alex Jones thing. Remember when he came on? He's like, the bleach and the stuff to put it in the water and all these toxins are making the frogs gay. And everybody shit. And it was funny because of the way he said it. But guess what? Then they did a study, and Oopsie! He was actually right.
Whoopsie.
Yeah. They Not that they were turning gay, they were actually having like a sex change on the frogs,
Yeah,
and
man,
they
they were.
found out it was him.
Do you know that they were spending millions of dollars experimenting to see if rats can get high off of cocaine?
Oh man, yeah, I heard about that. I'm like, really? You need to like, is this
Of
something we
course
need
they
to know?
can,
We need to know if rats can get high from cocaine. Like, is this need to know material?
bruh, bruh. You know doggone well they was not thinking about no rats. They was enjoying that cocaine in that laboratory.
You know, let's see how much cocaine do you need to prove this? Maybe a 20.
You know, they put you know how they put the report for how much cocaine they need for the experiment. They be like, yeah, we need maybe about
Five.
5 more kilos. You know,
Yeah.
could you have with some straws?
I would love to have been in the room when they separated the cocaine. I'm like, okay, this much for the rats, this much for the
Right. One rock for you,
like
2 for me.
about 4 pounds for us. We gotta make
Right.
it fair. It's a size difference type of thing. It's small little rats, big humans. Need more. You need a bigger block. And do we really need to spend $50 million to get rats high off cocaine? No. And
Exactly.
and they wonder like, who brought the cocaine to the White House? Well, maybe a scientist. According to them, we're just giving this shit away.
Yeah. It was from one of the experiments. That's what it was. That's what it was. That's what we'll
Yeah.
go with. It wasn't Hunter.
No, actually, it really wasn't Hunter. I have insight on who it was.
Oh.
I know the
Whoa.
secret. In fact, I saw the baggie. I saw the locker was in. It was locker number 50. It wasn't 50 Cent, everybody. So don't no shots at
You
the
could
locker
find me in
number.
the club. Oh, sorry.
There was a little bit of cocaine left, so it had been used. There was like at least $100 worth of coke. Like a nice little baggie, and there was a little line left when they found it. It belonged to a Biden, but it wasn't Hunter's. That's the big secret.
Let me find out.
Let's just
That's what they was using to keep Joe up.
let's just say part of that kept Joe up, and part of that came from a certain female doctor within the exclusive family. Because
Oh, there's a doctor.
uh-huh,
She's real close to the situation.
right,
Uh-huh.
that's who the culprit was.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, would her name rhyme with Sil?
You are hitting bingo right on the head there, my friend. Bingo was his name. Let's just say
Okay.
that
No wonder.
she's a doctor who's never actually operated on anybody or been to doctor school. It was kind of just a given title, like to say, yeah, make her a doctor.
No wonder her face looks so tight. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, that's her,
She always looked like she tasted a lemon real much.
right?
Yeah.
Like somebody just
got that kind of
went up and punched her in the face and said, "Here, bitch, get a lemon."
Right. Like, are you okay?
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. I am not surprised. Why do you think Joe Biden pardoned everybody in his immediate family plus like distant cousins and
And it wasn't just for one thing. It was like, no, whatever you did in the span of 10
all
years.
the way back to 2014?
What if they murdered somebody? Pardon. What if they sold crack to the children in like Chicago? Pardon.
That's
What if they
yeah, he
shot
didn't mean it.
middle of the Super Bowl? Pardon. It doesn't matter.
like on the movie Serial Mom. Daddy didn't mean it, did you, Dad?
What I am happy though is I'm happy to be able to go now in public and people are like not as brainwashed anymore. Because my mentor in Radio Art Bell used to talk about this a lot, that the veil is dropping, and
Yes,
he
it
meant
is.
in a paranormal kind of way. but I see it more in a political way where we're seeing now who the evil actors within politics are. And the great thing about what happened within the last 4 years, which was terrible, we went through a hell the last 4 years. But one thing that's great about what happened is people that weren't aware or didn't believe it, now they've seen it for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know how
Yes, sir.
bad. Sorry, they could compare a more balanced, idea of what was then to what it is
Mhm.
now. And this is why Trump got more votes this time than even 2020. That was a record amount of votes for president.
It was, and that's the reason why everybody's waking up now, because a lot of those Democrats were like, they were going gung ho for him and everything, but once stuff started coming out about what actually was going on, a lot of them was like, wait a minute, that's not cool.
Hmm.
I don't want anything. I don't want anything to do with this. That's why they started flipping. This man won this election with a landslide. I have never seen that in my entire life. Never. In my existence on this earth, I've never seen something like that in my life. That should tell people something. These Democrats, they're not they're not realizing the wrong and the reason why they lost. They still think they're right. They think everybody else is wrong.
Hmm. Yeah.
And that's the problem. You're not listening to what the people want. The people are telling you we're not cool with men who are 6'5" and shoulders like every grandfather they got, and all their uncles, they got the feet like all their uncles in their family. And you got on
Yeah.
lipstick and wig talking about some you want to run in next to this girl in her race. No. Where did they do that at? That is not fair. I don't
You
care
know,
what you look like, and I don't care if your name is if you used to be Tony and you are Tamika now. I do not care. You are still a man,
this is common
biologically.
sense. Common sense, folks.
It's the truth. People don't want
Yeah.
to get to the truth anymore. It's the common truth.
You know,
You
in,
are
Ca-
a man.
in California, they were trying to pass a law. I don't know if you saw this, Dennis,
Mm,
where they wanted to make it a discrimination. If you were a heterosexual male and you turned down somebody who was trans and had the surgery, who wanted to date you, and you said, "I'm not interested in dating a person who biologically is a male, even though you had the surgery," right? And even if you might say it in the most politest way, they're saying, "Oh, wait, you're actually discriminating because that's a woman now, and you got to respect her as a woman. So that can't be the reason why you turn her down." Wait, what?
okay, well, if I don't want to be with a woman, what that must mean? She can sue me too?
Yeah,
I mean, that's stupid. I don't care if
that's
you are
yeah,
a trans woman or a woman or a man or a trans man. I don't care. I have the choice. If I don't want to deal with you, I don't have to deal with you. I could be a hermit for the rest of my life. I don't have to deal with you.
yeah. That's called
And
freedom
this is
of will.
California.
Yeah, in San Francisco, they were
I'm
trying
not.
to pass the bill.
I'm not surprised. San
It
Francisco.
was
Oh,
yeah. It
okay.
was the representative at the time, which is funny. His name is Wiener, Paul Wiener, in San Fran. I guess he was a congressman out there. Actually, and it's funny because when he was trying to pass this, this is one of the few things he was trying to get through, which is a funny term. Kamala Harris was a big supporter when she was senator and vice president
I'm not
of some
surprised.
of these things. Another one where I think this one went through was a bill that it made it so it's not a crime that you have to be registered as a sex offender if you're
For what?
over the age of 18 and you had sex with a minor who was at least 5 years your age, or like say the person's 14 and you're 18
Yeah,
in San Francisco in that area, it wouldn't be
yeah.
considered enough to make you a registered sex offender. So in other words, they're making pedophilia okay, and that went through with Paul Wiener and Kamala Harris endorsing it. So wait a
Well,
second.
I'm not surprised. Kamala don't know where she is half the time because she's always drunk. Number two, those who voted for Kamala Harris, y'all the dumbest people I've ever seen in my life, and I'm gonna say it to your face because First of all, she fooled y'all into believing that she was a black woman. There is no African nor American in this woman. None. She's not either African nor American. There's no kind of blackness in her.
It's very simple. Correct. There's no India or Jamaica in Africa. Period. Done.
None. And just because you're Jamaican does not mean you're black.
Correct.
So they just fooled you when they started saying that about her. Oh, she just ran the train because she wanted to go ahead and be like, yes, I'm a woman of color.
Yeah.
Yes. And yes, but we all know that she was born a child of the middle class. Yes.
Yeah.
Please miss me.
Look, as soon as she starts that she makes food in her bathtub and so food. I'm like, look, woman.
Angel.
Preach.
Bro, you Cubano, right?
Oh yeah.
But you got some black in you too, right?
Oh yeah.
Have you ever? And for everybody that's listening to this broadcast, have anybody who knows about greens, collard greens, have anybody that you know or their mama ever washed their greens in the bathtub?
No.
That is a number one rule. You never put no food where your ass goes.
Correct. Yeah.
That is disgusting.
It's a little added flavor, like where I wash my balls and I
if you want to put a little coochie
pour the
in
water
there,
out of my coochie and my butt axe, like all the nastiness.
A few pubic hairs. It might be a little tasty. I don't know. For her,
and I'll never know. I'll never find out.
I'll never know because I never want to find that out about nobody's greens. You don't wash it.
My first girlfriend was a African American girl, and this is years ago. My very first girlfriend was black, and I used to eat at her house all the time because my parents worked really late, and this is back in junior high school. My first serious girlfriend, and I would eat at her house, and we had collard green all the time. And I tell you what, the mom was an amazing cook, and I can guarantee you, none of this stuff was ever made in a bathtub.
Of course, it wasn't made in a bathtub. She probably used to ask her a question like that. Well, boy, what's wrong with you?
I would get slapped in the head really hard, and I would have gone home like, "Mom, I got hit in the head for asking stupid questions." Exactly. Should have been stupid.
You go in any Cubano mama's house, you go in any Puerto Rican mama's house, you go in any Latino mama's house, you go in any black mama's house. Hell, you even go in any Asian person's house and talk about washing some greens in it or anything in the tub.
Yeah. That's I think when she lost most of America and especially the black vote. When she said that, people are like, "Are you stupid, lady?" Like now we know you're pandering. It's not bad enough that when she's around like certain classes like black folks, white folks, she changes the way she speaks.
No. That's my favorite one. Yeah. When she was around all the Latinos and she was over there like at the Puerto Rican conference or something like that. And somebody was like, "I love you." She said, "I love you, man." I said, "Where did that come from?" And then when she was in front of the black caucuses, when she was in the southern, no, she did a rally and she was in the southern state. I forgot what southern state it was, but then she was talking about you better thank the union workers for your pay. You better thank you union workers for your. But in the conference right before that, in a more, let's say, rural area,
right?
She said the exact same words, but it was like, "You better thank the union workers for your paid leave.
Yeah.
You better thank your union workers for your sick leave." But over with the black folks, "You better thank your union workers." No. Y'all was duped.
I said that the Hillary Clinton effect. Remember when she was like, "They're gonna put y'all back in chains," and I got my hot sauce and
in my purse.
In my purse, I'm like, well, she actually did pull hot sauce. I gotta give her that. She wasn't fucking around.
Oh yeah, that is a southern fact.
She knew what she was going to probably do because it's all scripted. You know that these folks on the left, everything they're told like questions, it's all scripted. None of it is real. Like, know that from Joe Biden. You're not black unless you vote for me. Really, Joe Biden? You mean the guy
Yeah,
from 85 and the 90s twice made crime bills that targeted Black Americans and Latino Americans. And in fact, my half brother went to prison under the 1985 crime bill, thanks to Joe Biden, and spent
that's
4.5
crazy.
years in prison. So when people tell me, why are you so hateful towards Joe Biden? It kind of affected my family. My
Yeah,
my 17-year-old brother went to prison because of a crime bill, which over pot, and he spent 4.5 years over a little bit of weed.
that's crazy.
You know what I
And
mean? It's ridiculous.
Joe Biden and that administration, they basically were in that office just to get paid.
Yeah,
Period. They didn't care about the country. They didn't care about the people. They didn't care about foreign wars. They didn't care about nothing because as a reason they wanted the wars to keep going. They were making buku money
that's it.
off of
Yeah,
those wars.
that's it.
The Ukrainian war. Why do you think that he kept sending all those millions of dollars over there?
Hmm.
And now Zelensky talking about something he don't know where a lot of that money went. Okay, son, well, where did it go? Okay, we gave you billions of dollars. Where did it
Billions.
go?
Yeah.
Where did it go?
Uh-huh.
See,
Remember
that's
when
money. That's a whole bunch of money laundering going on up in there. See, and that's why most of these Democrats are losing their mind because their checks are stopping.
yeah. Yeah. No, remember when they gave Trump shit over 1 billion plus to build the wall? And now they're sending
Yeah,
to Zelensky 350 billion. And oh, where'd the money go? I don't know. It's called David Copperfield. Maybe he can magically reappear the money because it's gone.
it's magic.
Yeah. It really is. It's like look at the right hand where the left hand is stealing your shit. That's magic. That's how it works.
Exactly.
We're
Yeah,
almost
the whole.
we're a little short on
The whole
time, but
mm,
let's segue again to the movie, One Punch Dan. We're both in this thing. It's
yes,
going to be
yes.
a ton of fun. We're gonna
Oh,
have more times like this. We're gonna like talk more and more about it over the summer because I'm dying to see this
cool.
thing, and I'm gonna
Yeah,
have
it's
more
gonna be so good.
powwows with the cast. Hopefully, we'll get Doug back on here. He was on not too long ago. And
Yeah.
it's always fun to to shoot the shit with Zodwriter. He's a good buddy. But
Oh, he's a wonderful.
what I do love is the fact that I've seen some of the footage and it's coming out pretty epic, man. So I can't wait.
Oh God, yes. Guys, you guys are not ready for this One Punch Man movie. It's the first one of its kind, I do believe. Other people have done things similar to it, but not a full movie, a full from beginning to end movie, complete with score, and everything. It's going to be so good, and it's got a lot of heart in it. It's going to be a little comedy. It's a superhero film, so of course it's going to have action and but it also has a message too because it's also a faith-based comic book movie,
Mhm.
so it's a good message in it as well, and it's going to set up some things for the future. It's going to be incredible, man, and I'm so honored that he chose me to be a part of it, to be in it, and your character is sick anyway. I always thought your character was sick. Yeah, okay, and to be a part of it. And then, he blessed me to be a executive producer on it, and it's fun to be behind the scenes and see how everything works and to help him make decisions and things with it. And I'm just honored with it. And I'm just glad that I'm in the position that I am, man. God has been blessing me with the things that I love to do. Like I told Zod, you're making dreams come true. I've always wanted to do a comic book and I've always wanted to be a character in a comic book, you know.
Yeah,
So I'm just blessed, man.
like I told you, he's our broker of peace.
Yes, he is. We have
That's
so
our
much fun,
Zodwriter.
man. We just the
Yeah.
other night we just sat up there and we watched uh 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 Fist of the North Star.
Oh, yeah, I love that. That's on my Plex also. I got
Yeah,
the
we
whole
just
collection on there.
because it's been years since I've seen it. I haven't seen it in like decades. So yeah,
Oh
he
yeah.
had showed it again. We watched it again. It was so good, you know. And we got a lot of things in common, especially with the music and a lot
Hmm.
of the way we think and he's really a good guy, man. And I'm
Yeah,
glad that
he's
he,
pretty good.
I'm glad he introduced me to you too. Because you have a good heart, man. I've been knowing you.
Thank you.
I can tell that you're good people, and I like being around real people. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm real, even though my hair and stuff ain't. But shut up,
No,
y'all. Everybody listening,
it's
just shut
that
up.
part is all good, man. It's all good. Uh, it's funny because Zod and me share a blood link, which a lot of people don't know about. We're not blood related, but I don't know if you know his history, but he comes from a traditionally a Cuban family, and
Yes.
you know his background, and it's a blessing where he ended up in life with great parents from a very rough start. So I'm Cuban. Biologically, he's Cuban. So we had that bond, and we both are representing the crown here with no hair. So
Yeah.
that's another thing
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
that bonded us in our
Hmm.
baldness. But
Yeah.
when I
I'm
met him, it
with you. I
was
discovered now.
yes, you were well. I'm sure me and him won't. But one thing I've always admired about him is, like myself, he's very open about, the things he loves, and he's very passionate about things he loves, and he's always been somebody who, when he puts his mind to something, he doesn't stop until it's like exactly like the
Oh,
way he pictures it, which is the way we all should be, honestly.
listen, being in the lab with him, creating with him, man, I know. When he gets an idea,
Hmm.
he has to see it through. He can't
Yeah.
just put it to the side. He has to see it through right then and right there. And that's what I like about him. That's how the creativity just flows off of him like that, and I love that because it activates mine. It makes me creativity in me to start flowing and things. And then we get to, you know, bringing our ideas and stuff together, and it just goes insane. It comes out so good. And I love the fact that I can see that God is using him
Hmm.
in his and for these things and stuff, because when he used to do his like Tupac music and things, and stuff, it was good music. It was good music, but it would take a toll on him. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because his spirit is not meant to be in that kind of atmosphere, that kind of mindset.
Hmm.
So he would get headaches and stuff from, every time he would write one and stuff. And I told him, stop doing that, because that's not what your spirit is meant for,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
And now when he's doing all this stuff with the music and with the movie and stuff, he's just flourishing. It's wonderful to see, man. And I'm glad to be a
Yeah.
part of it.
I love the character Jasmine Star, by the way. That's my favorite.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
love
My
that girl.
Jazzy.
Yeah,
That's my
she
jam.
the way that the music's coming out with her is beautiful, and the cover stuff that he's done, some of the more original stuff,
Yeah.
it's just awesome stuff, man. Look, we're a couple of minutes away here. Give the audience again a way to find your work online for your video podcast, videocast. If you have a personal website, plug away, my friend.
All right. Well, thank you. No, I don't have a personal website. You can find me on YouTube at Bishop D.M. Williams, and that's my channel. And the name of my show is Come On In and Get Some with the Bishop. And I do 2 shows a week. I do one on Sunday. I give you the word. I give you that good old scripture. And then on Wednesday, I give you word of encouragement Wednesdays. So, just to give you a little to take you through the rest of the week. You know what I'm saying? And we're over there. I do things decent and in order. I give you the word, but I'm silly and I'm pretty, and I like to tell you I'm pretty, and I like to giggle, like to have fun, and I tell everybody to shut up. And so so we like to just have fun over there. And I don't call us Christians over there, because I came to find out, like, during my studies, Christian used to be a derogatory name for people who follow God. So I'll go
Mhm.
back to the old fashioned one. We're followers of the way. Okay, so
Yes, there you go.
come on over and get you some of the bishop and become one of the followers of the way. All right.
Amen to that, man. I love it. You stay the same, man. Never change, and we will have you back on shortly because I love your style, and maybe the next time I see you, I'll have hair like you.
Well, listen, if you need some tips or something, I can hook you up. I can tell you how to get a good
You take
one.
care of me. You take care of me. We'll work on that. Till next week, everybody. Love y'all. Stay alive. Stay well, and like I always say, love, peace, and chicken grease.
Amen.
Peace, Paul. Amen to that.
Motorboat? You play the motorboat?